Hello, welcome back. I've been away for a while, busy at work and other things. Just thought I'd show you a couple of items I've picked up recently at my favourite little shop in Newton Abbot. The first one is this 1965 Fiat 1500. It's missing its little roof rack, so I'm going to have to find one of those on a website where I buy my reproduction parts. Shouldn't be too difficult or expensive. Just lots in there by the looks of it. The rest of the car, as you can see, it's scratched in various places. Bit of bubbling there in the casting. That's probably what it was like originally. They didn't always file down or make these castings very smooth when they came out of the process. So paint here coming off, oxidized underneath the alloy has, so hence why the paint's flaking off. Windscreen not too bad. I could do a bit of a polish, bit of a clean. Back's okay. Amazingly, it's still got its original tow bar. They normally get broken off or chewed off. Now, what I'm really impressed with is the underneath. It is extremely good, so I'm not going to touch the underneath, as the wheels are. Again, brilliant. They're not buckled, they're not really chewed up, so a bit of a clean and they'll be fine. So that's that. The other one is this armoured car by a company called Lone Star, another British company. I'm not sure what sort of armoured car it's, if it's supposed to be a Humber or something along those lines, but after a little bit of research online, the original colour is this colour, like a desert yellow, and the original vehicle did have a German Maltese cross on the front there. I'm not sure about the back, but that's the only emblem I could see. As you can see, apart from the barrel being slightly bent, the rest of the vehicle isn't in too bad condition. I mean, the axles are a little bit on the bent side, but they'll be easily straightened up in the vise. So all I'll need to do is just to drill out these rivets here and pop it apart. And that'll go nicely in my display cabinet once all this crummy paint that somebody's tried to use on it to camouflage it is taken off. So first I need to, let me just remind, I just found this outside. Obviously one of my boys has decided to play with it outside and left it in the garden. Looks like a little Matchbox or something, helicopter, police helicopter. Looking a bit rough. That's broken, so I'll have to glue that on. So what I'll probably end up doing is stripping this down. It's held in by what looks like rivets on the side here. Drill them out and see if I can pop it apart and spray it a different colour. Don't like seeing toys wasted. But today we're going to start off with this little Fiat 1500. The only real detail is that they've painted the front grille. So as usual, we're going to start off by just drilling out that little rivet there. So I'm just going to pop it over here. So let's just get the camera pointing towards my little vise over there. Just bear with me. Now, as normal, this is probably going to be a two-part video. So we'll just concentrate on the stripping down of this first. I'll turn that around the other way, it'll give me more room this side. So just found a drill bit that's going to reach the rivet. Okay, let's gently drill that out. Just got to take off the flange of the rivet and hopefully it should come off. So we'll just see how that's done, if it's going to just come off. Oh, not quite. I can just tease that off there a little bit. Oh, no, that's just bending that. Don't want to do that, so we'll just have to drill out that rivet just a little bit more. take off some more of the sides. Might even just try just to top that rivet off with a slightly bigger drill bit. Just to take off those hopefully now these things either come off straight away or they don't. This one today is going to be a bit of a pig. I'm just using my magnifying lens just to see where it's catching, and I've lost my little screwdriver. Where have I put that? There it is. So I've literally just got to try and pop it off the there we go. Now that it's just undone nicely. Oh, I didn't know that. That is actually plastic. That's unusual. They're normally alloy. Huh. Well, there you go. So that will clean up really well. That's why it's in such good condition. It's actually made of plastic. Oh, it's got a little suspension plate here. So excellent. That will go in the cleaning pot as well. Bit of warm soapy water, and oh, didn't want that really. What they've done here is riveted the windscreen into the car. So with the drill, again very gently, I'm hopefully just gonna, again, I don't want to force it because the last thing I want to do, there we go, Bob's your auntie, that's flopped out. So it's got a couple of little arrows just in case you're a complete fool and try putting it in the wrong way. That arrow's telling you there which is the front. Again, I'll just clean that up, bit of warm soapy water. So that is the car, that's its main shell. Nothing exciting, so these early models weren't anything too special, but to a child of that era they were brilliant. They were the latest toy before Hot Wheels hit the scene. So the next job on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably drill out that post to about 2mm, and I'm going to tap it with my 2mm tap so I can screw it back together with a M2 screw. So just bear with me a moment and I'll be right back. So just off camera I've drilled out the post, so I'm just going to pop in a tap there just to create a little thread. So now hopefully I'll find one of my little screws. Rookie error. I've drilled it too big, so I'll just have to use a bigger screw. Not a problem, at least it's drilled and tapped. I have got loads of other screws. That'll teach me. Oh, blimey, what a twit. Yeah, they're too big. I will find something. Anyway, not a problem at the moment, because what I can do is just pop a slightly bigger threaded screw in. Probably a 3mm. So the next thing to do is to strip it down. And for that we need a plastic pot with some paint stripper. So I'll just use something as basic as this. It's just an old bottle end. Now I've maintained before, do this very carefully because paint stripper is very corrosive. So vinyl gloves just to help. I mean, paint stripper will burn through vinyl gloves, but I'll see it rather than burning my skin. And what I'm going to use here is I'll try this one first. Usually works. Give it a bit of a shake and splash it all over. Now then, with the aid, if I could find it, there's my little, I have to get a new one. Knocking stuff over there. With the aid of a disposable cotton bud, I'm just going to splash it onto the paint and hopefully it will start peeling. Now sometimes this old, especially if it's like 50 odd years old paint, I'm not sure what they used to use, but it doesn't always bubble up straight away. It takes one or two applications. I do normally use caustic soda, but I've run out. I used on something quite big a little while ago and didn't get around to replacing it. So let's just pick that up with these little forceps and give it a good old dousing inside and out. Now you might be interested to know what colour this is. I believe it's a colour I can match quite easily because I did a Zephyr in a very similar colour, and my belief it's mint green. So I should match that pretty easily as I've already used it, and in a second I'll be able to show you which colour it was exactly. Paint stripper doesn't seem to be wanting to do much. Well, it's covered, so we'll just leave that for a while and we'll see how it gets on. Hopefully it will start reacting. I'm inside in my workshop, which has got a door open and the windows open, plenty of ventilation. I'm wearing glasses, not safety goggles, but you shouldn't try doing this without any sort of protection over your eyes and nose and face, really, in case you splash it. So let's just pop that off to one side for a minute, just let it bake, and I'll show you what the colour I use is. Now this is high coat double acrylic, as you, I don't know if you can see this, Vauxhall mint green. I would show you the car that I painted this in, but I've lost the keys to the cabinet. They were on my little hook, they've dropped down somewhere. But I guarantee this is almost identical. So I matched the car up to the Zephyr in the cabinet, and this is the colour to use. And in case you fancy trying it, XDVX308 is the product number. It's by a company called High Coat. Since 1982. I swear by them. They're really good paint and a pleasure to use. Very easy to spray. Nozzle's quite small, so you don't get overspray. Controls really well. It's from about 9 inches away, 69 inches away. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just get some warm soapy water. Doesn't need a lot of cleaning up, and hopefully they should come up really well. So let's just take my gloves off and get some warm soapy water. Here we go then. So I've got the warm soapy water, so I'm just going to dunk the parts in there. Okay, so all I'm going to do is get my old toothbrush here and just give that a bit of a wash. That really caught me by surprise, this being plastic. This is the first one of this era that I've had with a plastic base. Really didn't expect that. So a bit of a rinse off. So it shouldn't need spraying. Give that a really good scrub in amongst all the lettering, and hopefully it should come up like new. I'm not going to bother taking the wheels off, like I said, because they're pretty good shape. I might just polish up the end of the axles because they're a little bit on the rusty side, but it's going to be in a display cabinet, so not too concerned. Yeah, that's come up really well. There's the odd scratch, which might be able to polish out. Other than that, no, it's looking good. Happy with that. Flipping ecstatic. So now what we'll do again, a very soft toothbrush, because this car has what I call an open windscreen to it, or open plastic top to it. Over the years, obviously it's over 50 years old, it's going to gather lots of dust and muck. So when it was originally moulded, that would have come out of the machine like that with a little sprue attached to it, and all they do is simply just fold that steering wheel in. Very fragile, so just be careful. This is the first time it's been out since it was manufactured. So there we go, rinse that off. And that looks very splendiferous. Again, just gently dry that off with a kitchen towel, pop that over to dry. And again, same with the other plastic parts. It's not going to need a lot, just that's been stuck in between the chassis and the wheels. And then with the windscreen, very lightly inside and out, just to remove any excess grime. Very fragile and thin, these plastic windscreens. You can get reproduction parts, but they're generally from about £4 upwards. So if you can be very gentle with them, there's no reason why you can use them again, especially if they're undamaged, as is this one. I have been a bit overzealous with them in the past, washing them, and not seen a pre-existing little crack there, and tink, that's all you hear, little tink, and it's gone. You've ruined it. There we go. Now I don't need to polish this because visually I can see that those scratches were just smudges, and that is just like new. So that's off to one side as well. So let me just put that over there out of the way, and we'll go back to right, okay, so as you can see, we have got some reaction to the paint stripper. Left with a bit of time, it's decided to bubble up. So what I think's happening is the paint stripper's getting under the already damaged paint, and it's beginning to lift it off. Now what you can do, little tip here, is get a bit of cling film or a plastic flush fitting lid. I normally used to use one of these, and the fumes given off by the paint stripper will soften the paint even more. So what I'm going to do is just get some cling film and cover that up. Right, so what I've done is just put some cling film over that to keep the fumes in, and hopefully that paint stripper will start to really get to work on the model now and get the rest of that paint off. That's in the way, I don't want to spill that. Let's move that over there. Put my gloves out of the way. there's a bit chaos in my workshop at the moment because I've had to move it around because the wife's decided that she wants a washing machine and tumble dryer in here, and to put a dishwasher in the kitchen. Okay, so that's that. So all we can do at the moment is just wait for that to strip. That is coming off. That is blistering really well now. So that's going to take another 10-15 minutes. Let's try and get some more of that paint stripper on the inside. That's working really well. Really happy with that. Yeah, that's coming off beautifully. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually leave it for a bit longer, and you've already seen me the process. All I'm doing literally is going to brush that off under some flowing water in the kitchen, and then just buff it off the alloy with my wheel, my Dremel type tool, which you've seen me do before. So I'm just going to leave that because I'm running out of time on my memory card. So what I'll do next time is you'll see me just clean the alloy chassis up, sorry, the body up, and prepare it for spraying. The assembly for this will be really simple. So in the meantime, I'm glad you tuned back in to watch these things. I've had several people ask me, where have you been, where have you been? Mostly friends and family. At the moment I do have 16 subscribers to my YouTube video. The more the merrier. Like I say, this is just a basic budget die cast restoration. Anybody else who sees these little toys and thinks, oh, I used to have one of those when I was a child and I wouldn't mind seeing that brought back to life, then just give us a shout. If you see anything particular or you want to send it in to me, then we can always do that. I will reiterate, it does cost a little bit of money just to get these things fixed. Paints and other parts aren't cheap. If you go into airbrushing, they're even more expensive. So this is why I try and do it as cheap as possible with what I've got in my workshop and what you can find in any hardware store. I'm talking like modelling files, forceps, which I've got from when I used to work in operating theatres. That were single use and never used. They were just dropped on the floor, so I've brought them home. You know, I mean, this is all cheap stuff you can buy from modelling shops, these files. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that little video, and so when this is all cleaned up, or the paint's come off anyway, the next video will be of me just cleaning it up with the wire brush on my Dremel type tool. It's a Parkside tool. You've seen it before. It's on one of my previous videos. It works extremely well. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully the next video, the next installment for this will be in another day or so. So in the meantime, bye bye and thank you.